Hello there, I'm Don here with one of the more top-of-the-line Dell Dimension desktop towers. This is the Dell Dimension 8400. It's about, well, let's see, this is the sticker. And it says it has a manufacturing date of, let's see, does it say manufacturing date? I think it is up there. 06/18/05, so it's either 2006 or 2005 this was manufactured. But nonetheless, it makes it at least, it is at least 13, 14 years old. So it has, now this is on the top of line, so it's a bit over-engineered to this extent. So it has a kind of ATX size motherboard. Familiar layout with the PCI slots down here, RAM slots up there, CPU's up there, but the 24 pin is up there. And the 4-pin connector is all the way by there, right there. And this is a graphics card support, but just broke upon my touch of a hand. A GeForce 6800. And it's got S-Video, DVI, and a VGA. This CPU has onboard graphics, but there is no onboard graphics in terms of the input and output on the motherboard, which consists of a serial, printer board, Dell diagnostic lights, a couple of PS2, 5 audio jacks, 6 USBs, and I think this is a 10100 Ethernet. 10100 Ethernet. Pretty beefy CPU cooler cooling a Pentium 630 processor from the Prescott family, if not mistaken. It's got copper heat pipes, aluminium fins, 4 RAM slots, dual channel memory if not wrong. There's a chipset cooler there. Here is a IDE cable for the two 5¼ bays. Here is not a, this is not for the floppy, this is a ribbon cable for the USB 2.0 front panel headers. As you can see, there's a bit of cable management going on here with these black plastic pieces. This is broken, as you can kind of see. It's supposed to be bent like that, but it's sticking out like this. There are toolless bays for the two 3.5-inch hard drive spots, and this is two 3¼ inch bays for like floppy drives and whatnot. If you try to remove it from the sides, it'll probably break and stuff, and there's no screws, and it's a bit weird. As you can see, it's a metal chassis with a plastic outing, which flops about. It's not that secure after so many years. It's got no power supply, this particular system. It's got a power supply retention arm that you need to loosen if you want to access the power supply. Here's a hard drive, a 160GB Western Digital Caviar SE drive. So as you can see, there's a cooler shroud with a very thick and beefy fan. And, well, the power supply is like that. And there's an arrow there because this is a unique chassis, because it is what PC enthusiasts call the clamshell chassis, where you have to, like that, it is weird. You have to loosen the retention on both sides of the chassis, top and bottom. This does not rotate, if you're wondering, and you can then open this up. It is very bulky, and the biggest problem is that the chassis is closed shut, but the plastic piece is just a very loosely attached to the metal enclosure. Just look at, and that's because of the inheritance of being cracked and brittle. This is missing the front fascia for one of the 5¼ bays. This actually opens up. Get your Dell Express service code and service tag, and your 2 USB ports and an audio jack. Your Dimension 8400 power button, and is this a hard drive indicator light? I think yeah. And designed with Windows XP with a Pentium 4 sticker. Down here is nothing, it's just ventilation. Windows XP. This this clamshell, it has a lot of metal, and so it's a very, very heavy tower, considering a tower with similar specifications from one of these chassis is so much lighter. This is unnecessarily heavy, bulky, complicated, Two-tone grey. Here's a 360 look at it. We looked at the bottom just now, so this is like the top view and whatnot. The other side looks about the same. And here's about the same again, so yeah. It's got an optical drive dome, getting a power supply. This seems to be routed for a floppy drive as well. There's a release extension, so you have to just pull this down. But because this system is so old, all the plastic becomes brittle, so you have to handle it with care. There is no CPU cooler or processor in the LG11 775 socket because this particular, there's no fan also. Yeah, that's it. I didn't do a close up of the motherboard earlier, but here's a close up of the motherboard. All the capacitors is fine. 4 SATA ports. 4700s only had 2 SATA ports.